Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Patrick Russo with OnStation. Thank you for joining us today. It's awesome to see so many of you coming in and having interest in what we want to present. Before the other two introduce themselves, I just want to give you a quick rundown of what we're doing today. This is a new integration between OnStation and TransTech that we launched at World of Asphalt. And so what we wanted to do over the next 20 to 30 minutes is just talk to you about how the integration works, how it can solve some problems out in the field, what you need to do to get set up. This is not intended to be a sales pitch. If you want to learn about OnStation more or learn about TransTech more and everything that each of our companies do, you can reach out to us at another time to understand how our platforms work. This is just if you have interest in the TransTech OnStation connection. This is how it works and how it can help you and what it'll solve. So we're going to keep it short, on point. There'll be questions. You can submit them in the chat. We'll answer them at the end of the session, and hopefully you get the information that you are looking for. But just to start, I'm Patrick Russo. I'm the CEO of OnStation. OnStation, really quickly, we provide live digital stationing. So when you're on the project, right through your phone or tablet in the field, you will have a live location with your station alignment and offset right in front of you on your project. And that's the important part, that live stationing, and we'll tell you how that connects to what TransTech is doing. So I'm gonna have Jake introduce himself.
Yeah, so I'm Jake Schwartzberg, software developer at TransTech. I kind of led the effort to build this whole new digital ecosystem to enable you to, kind of distribute your density data a lot easier from the field to all of your different tools.
Okay, hi, I'm John Lamond, Sales Manager of TransTech Systems. So I'll give you a brief introduction into the systems and what the benefits are. So the introduction allows a seamless transfer of compaction and density information from the job site. It's a smarter, more efficient method of working which helps improve the overall quality control process for the project. So the density value, exact location, date and time stamp and temperature for each test is immediately uploaded onto the OnStation portal. And that's visible to anyone that's using the portal. So there's no manual recording, there's no notebooks, no text messages. So there's less time spent on reporting and of course, less chance of errors. It provides much better data management with traceability for all the density testing for the project. And also helps the technicians on the job site. So they're not spending time looking for and confirming density test locations, which improves their safety. And they're not spending hours manually transferring the day's testing results at the end of the day, so it helps reduce fatigue and burnout. So there are different processes to pass the data from the two PQI models. With the 380 Plus, it's an immediate transfer via the QR code seen on the gauge screen using the Connect app on your phone, and you can see that on the video here. Now, if you have a 380, the transfer has to be done from the saved project files via the USB and upload onto the PC housing the Connect app. So that's the two options. So I'll pass you over to Jake now, and he's going to explain a little bit more about the mechanics of the integration.
Hey, Jake, can I just add something real quick before you start?
Yep.
So just to kind of the connection here. So your 380 plus, your 380, and sending those test results into Connect. When you transfer those over to OnStation, we put that station alignment offset on the test. We put that location, we stamp it on there because every test needs to know that location. And so if TransTech is capturing that data digitally, well, then it can flow to OnStation digitally, and we can create that record for you at the location on the project. So it's just more productive. It keeps your crews safer. They don't have to wander around looking for stake or lath and find or spray paint on the ground. And it's a quicker process. So in that process, it's going to reduce the hours that it takes to complete this activity. It's going to reduce the hours that your QC QA people are spending out on the job site. They're usually the first on and the last off. And this streamlined activity, they don't have to take the test, write it down, go to their truck, enter it in an Excel sheet, email it over to somebody else. It's just a much smoother process.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can piggyback on that before we jump over to the actual back-end mechanics here. So there's kind of two prerequisites that I want to point out about this integration. Obviously, OnStation and TransTech Connect are two separate things. So you can think about this integration as kind of linking the two tools. So you obviously have to have an account set up on TransTech Connect. You can use that with your 380 or the 380 Plus like we've talked about here. And you also need to have measurements in TransTech Connect, right? So either scanning it with the mobile app or having uploaded it from the actual 380 gauge. So we can jump to the next slide here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mechanics, how it all works, and kind of show how easy it is. So we're going to start in the OnStation portal. We're going to jump to the integrations tab here. What you're going to do is create an API key and then add your current project to this key. So you basically give the key access to read and write records into this project, which is kind of a good way to control that as well. But next step is you're going to copy the API key from the OnStation portal, and you're gonna bring it over to TransTech Connect into our integrations tab and simply paste that key into the OnStation modal here. And from kind of plugging the two tools together, that's as simple as it is. It doesn't require a developer. If you are comfortable doing it yourself, it doesn't even require an onboarding session per se. We wanted to really make it easy. It's simply copying that API key from OnStation, putting it into TransTech Connect, and now when you go to send the actual measurements to OnStation, which we'll show next, we use that key to validate the OnStation project. So we can jump over here. We're gonna have two more videos with two different methods on how to actually send it. So first is from the web. We organize a lot of your measurement data inside of project geofences. So you can see here this little red outline. When you scan measurements, we cluster them and give you the ability to bulk create this project based on the location. So here you can select one-to-many measurements, click action, send to OnStation. This is the step when we send that location information to OnStation. They send us back the project, you hit submit, and then ports over automatically. So we have the export history here, so you can actually see all the different times that you sent it over. And there's some benefits to that as well, but now we're jumping to the OnStation portal, and you can see under your project and density tests, those are now on your OnStation project, like Patrick said, with that station mapping. And it kind of, like Patrick explained nicely, eliminates a lot of that manual work and mapping. So there's one other method here, which works with the 380 Plus with the mobile app that we can jump to next. After you scan a measurement, it'll appear in the mobile app. You click the measurement. This can be done right from the field. So hit integration, send to OnStation. It's going to perform the same actions that the web did, just in the mobile experience. Send to OnStation, and you're good to go. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible, right? Allow you to do it from the field, allow you to do it from the web. Obviously, this is a fully automated process. If you use it properly, or you use it kind of with all the tools connected, there should be zero manual entry. And one of the things I want to touch on, and we can just let this video play in a loop while I speak over it, but it saves time, it eliminates that manual entry, but another aspect of it is kind of the chain of custody of the actual measurement information, right? So because we store that export history, we can see when it was sent, from where, and actually bring that data point from your OnStation project all the way back down to an exact location and time and which operator took that density test. One thing that is coming out in the new mobile app, Patrick said this isn't salesy, but I'm going to throw this in here too because it's new. You can add notes and photos now two-way measurement test through the mobile app. So, along with that chain of custody, you're able to provide a lot more context to a measurement right through the mobile app. So through the new app, you can add notes, photos, send it to OnStation without really having to leave any of these tools. But yeah, I think that's kind of my spiel. Just want to touch on the fact that no developer is required, not even necessarily an onboarding session. If you have both of these tools, it's easy to link and easy to start to send data from the field all the way through to OnStation.
So there's a question just come in about someone who said they've already got the 380 gauge and why should they? What's the benefit of changing to the 380 plus? Well, the obvious benefit is the fact that you cannot use the mobile app on your phone with the 380. You have to still save the data on the 380, and then you have to manually transfer the uploaded data from a USB onto the PC that's housing the OnStation app. Now, it still gives you the option to use OnStation, but you don't get that immediacy that you do get with the 380 plus.
Yeah, and I can touch on the next question there. Anna dropped in the chat, is this two different apps? So it is technically one application in the back end, but it's two different experiences. So we wanted to build out the web side of things because I think from a bulk data perspective, from a data analysis perspective, that gives you a lot more opportunities and a lot more kind of detailed features. And then the mobile app is something that will primarily be used by the techs that are actually on site, scanning those measurements with their 380 plus. So it's two different experiences, but it's the same login to both, and it's all interconnected.
Hey, John, real quick, before we go into that next question, I wanted to comment on the two apps, and then if you can touch on first, and then I will a little just, who this can benefit and how. But Anna, just for the two apps to build on what Jake said, it is the device or the app you would use to scan the QR code with TransTech is different from OnStation. When you scan a device and you send it to OnStation, it's mainly going into our data portal. So it's not something that the technician has to juggle in the field at the same time. Our application does provide the location and other things that they could use in the field. But for this particular process, you just use the one and it goes into the data portal. We try to make this as easy as possible. We know there is tech fatigue out on the roadway, and you don't want to be bouncing back and forth between the different applications. That's why we try to make this as smooth as possible. But I also like to point out, if you're adding an app that's doing something digital, you're also reducing the paper and pen activity, Excel activity, emailing activity that's done to get to the same stage that you would be by using the TransTech Connect and into OnStation. So there are some give and takes there, but I know that my development company and the TransTech, or my development people and the TransTech development people, we put a lot of focus on the user experience. These are live roads, there's traffic, they're dangerous. We want you to be able to do your job, get the readings, and then get on with your day and out of staring at your phone. John, go a little bit into who it helps and how, and then I'll add some, and then we'll jump back into the questions.
Yeah, well, I think I'm sure most of the people on board today will understand that one of the missing pieces of the jigsaws and all the digital information that's passing is density. We take a lot of density readings on the job, and there's always a mechanical process of getting that information back to the QC manager or whoever. So we're now getting into the area where you get this immediate information on compaction and data performance back to someone who can make a critical decision. Now, that could be the QC manager, the foreman. So you're getting a more immediate bit of information on a very critical part of the project. Of course, it's going to help the technician because he's not going to have to worry about holding the data. You can actually move the data very quickly. So all in all, it's a much more efficient process. And also another thing to think about is as I said, the holding on to the data. Now it's in a safe, secure location that can be used for analysis further down the line, and it can be held, for historical data should the need arise.
And then I want to add a little bit here, kind of who we think it can help from our standpoint in kind of a couple general buckets. But if you're someone on this call who needs to prove or validate the work that you did so it meets your contract compliance, paving foremans, right? You get paid on density and smoothness. So how do I prove that I met your contract compliance? Well, a digital test with a date, time, station, and photos is some pretty solid documentation that I did with the contract complied, or that the contract required. Another group would be, maybe it's the folks back in the office that are overseeing this activity out in the field. So anyone who needs to know where the test results were, right? How much of this road have we tested? Did we miss any activity? Maybe somebody got sick or weather came in, or we didn't get it done in the day and we have to go back out there. If there's a failure in the pavement and you need to be able to prove that we tested at these sections, I'm in compliance, it's not my liability, being able to document where tests were taken and covering that whole road is important. And then the last piece I'd add would just be, it's the liability, right? Whoever needs to transfer or establish liability, when there's a failure, how quickly can you identify that the work you did was accurate at the time when the work was being performed? Having digital records of all this information, not paper pen, where there could be human error, not in multiple systems. And this could be from a DOT perspective. Hey, there's a failure here. We need to go back to the contractor and they need to fix it. It could be from the contractor perspective of, we did things right at the time, and whoever has the ability to kind of prove their work is, that's what's going to stand. So if you fall in one of those buckets, this is probably something that could help you.
There's quite a lot of questions coming in, Patrick. I don't know if you want to.
Cammie, how do you want to do it? Do you want to read them out to us, or should we go down the list? What are your thoughts?
I think would be best.
Okay. John, why don't and Jake, I'll read them off, and
sure.
If it applies to one of you, you can jump in. So is 380 Plus using Bluetooth to make data connection and transfer?
Not at this moment in time, but it's at this moment in time, no, but it's in the plan to get that set up.
Yeah, that's coming quick. That's kind of, we just, at the end of this week, a kind of revamped mobile app is going to come out with the ability to add those notes and photos. And then our next kind of step after that for the mobile app update is to establish the Bluetooth connection with the gauge.
Awesome. Is there a cost for using OnStation? So there is a one-time fee to make this connection into TransTech to generate that API key so that you can establish your projects. So that's the TransTech connection. You have to have a license to OnStation. All of our pricing, our different tiers, all of that's available on the website. If you want to talk to a salesperson, we can give you that information as well. But so you have to have OnStation and TransTech, and you bridge the two together. It's all publicly available.
And I just
Patrick, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just on that topic then, that if you are going to connect with the TransTech Connect app, then there is a charge associated with that, and it is a layered charge. So we have buckets of the minimum start off point is 5 users, and then we ramp it up depending on your size of organization and how many people you want to have involved and connected to the Connect app.
Right. Let's not jump Rodney here as well. I know you were going to jump to the next one. Rodney, I can read this one off if you want and answer it. Said, is there any future options to have? Nope. What's the next one? I know there's one about reporting.
Yeah. No, I was going
reports.
to Ray. Rodney was about Bluetooth, so that was 2 in a row. Ray, is there a thought of OnStation being
Thursday.
used as GPS? Love the app and want to use this to survey elevations. You asked, Ray, so I'll answer. We do have another integration with another company that starts with a T. We integrate with Trimble, so you can use your Trimble devices, connect through a different application, Trimble Mobile Manager, and then that will give you rover accuracy within your OnStation app. Again, reach out to us later. We can tell you how all that works and the benefits, but that's how that currently operates.
I meant Dave up there, sorry. He said, can density reports be generated that include gauge readings, location, and any notes or pictures added? That's something that we're going to add pretty quick into the web experience now that we have that context of notes and photos that are enabled through the new mobile app. So that's something that we're going to explore, is kind of a standard report format that gets spit out by TransTech Connect.
Good catch. I missed that.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Brian asks, are the readings going to show up as events blended with flags in OnStation, or is there a way to overlay the gauge data readings? So currently, when the readings come over into OnStation in your portal, you're going to see a tab for density readings. And then those will show up on the map separate from your flag activity. You could probably turn them on. Actually, you can't do that yet, but they do come over separate as in the data portal that you can view on the map. Jim, ultimately, is the density test data stored on TransTech Cloud or the OnStation Cloud? I can speak from the OnStation side that we store it when it comes into our portal. It is stored there in our environment, but Jake, it's probably stored on your end as well because it's saved here.
Yeah, for sure. So we have more of the metadata associated with the actual density reading because that's kind of the source of it, right? And then what we do is send over kind of a subset of it to OnStation that'll be used for the reporting and roll up.
Stacy asked, does it show the technicians information as to what company they work for?
Yep. So on the
on
the TransTech side of things, when you set up your account, you're going to create a company, quote unquote. That'll happen one time. It's just a way for us to manage the subscription and for you to invite the rest of your team members into the company. So when you do that, you create your account. We have your name and the name of the organization that your TransTech Connect subscription is under, and we track all of that and send that over.
And so, yes, Stacy, you would see that on the OnStation side as well. Dave asks, and this is for you, Jake, can multiple readings be uploaded with one QR scan to save time?
So right now, it's one scan at a time. So kind of the workflow that would happen in the field is you take the reading, you hit accept and save, it displays the QR, and then you would scan it with the app. One option we do have is if you just snap a photo of it, in that time, you can bulk upload photos with the QRs and it'll read the data off of that. But, we are moving to Bluetooth. That's kind of V2, but the QR code is pretty instant. There's no kind of thinking there. Once it recognizes the QR, it uploads and the record goes right there, maps it to the project on the TransTech Connect side, and then you're able to distribute it. So that was a long answer to a short question, but
and I think just
the Bluetooth is coming.
Even though each test is taken individually, when you're moving the tests to OnStation, then you can bulk them. So you can set you can have like a group of 15, 20 tests, and then you send that as one package to OnStation. So you don't have to send each individual test to OnStation, but you do have to you have to take each test individually.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's the questions that we had, and Cami is going to flip forward to one last poll at the end. We are available. There'll be a QR code in a second if you'd like to learn more. And really our team, the OnStation sales team, the TransTech sales team, and the developers, we're here to answer your questions, not just now, but also later. And if you're in the field and you're doing testing, if you have a manual paper process now, this way it can save time, it can save hours on your technicians, it can improve their mental health because they're not out there for 16 hours a day, and it makes them safer. So it's a digital transmission of data. That's what we're trying to get to, and we appreciate the opportunity to tell our story a little bit. So any last thoughts, John and Jake?
No, I just thank everybody for coming on. Of course, we are trying to push the whole non-nuclear technology into the industry, and of course this new adaptation, this new innovation of moving the data transfer much more quickly and effectively is just another step forward in our move to making industry a better, safer place to be.
Yep. And one thing I can add here right at the end is, TransTech Connect is a new platform launched with this new digital ecosystem side of TransTech. We're moving really fast, building new features. We want a lot of feedback. The kind of revamped mobile app in terms of the notes and photos came out of a discussion that we had last week. So we're moving quick. We want to build a lot of things that, solve your problems. So we're kind of an open book.
Thanks everybody for joining. If you have TransTech Connect or TransTech Gauge questions, reach out to that team. If you have questions on OnStation, digital stationing, how we can help you in the field and how the integration works, you can reach out to the OnStation side. And enjoy the day, stay safe, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks.